Being refugee, nobody wants you. You have no place to go. I mean, Stalin wanted us, there's no way we're going to go back. My name is Peter Redekop, and I was born in 1935 in Chortitza in Ukraine, the Chortitza colony. Every village had a church, and the church was closed during the communist period, and it became a granary. And you could not practice as a group religion, because if the neighbors found out and they didn't like you, they would basically tell on you, and away you go to Siberia. I mean, that was just that simple. And I know we had a Bible in our house which was illegal. So Mom and Dad basically told us stories and read us stories when the blinds were down. And they basically hid the Bible in the outhouse. My dad was taken to Zaporozhye in prison, and in this case he was in prison for 8.5 or 9 months, and out of 80 men, 2 of them were released, and he was one of them. Well, I mean, when the Germans came in with the German soldiers came in with motorcycles, we would just have white handkerchiefs or something, and then we would start talking German to them. And then they said, well, hier sind unsere, here are our people, our German people. These were our saviors, and we really didn't know that much about Hitler's politics and all that. All we knew that he came and rescued us from a butcher, which was Stalin. The war collapsed in May of '45, and Dad was really afraid that the Russians would come and occupy where we stayed. And he knew what would happen if we go back. We were supposed to go to a train station, and then we would go to a certain city, and we were going to be processed there. Well, Dad says, I think they're going to get the army and force load us to the group. And he says, we're getting out of here. We're going to hide. So we packed up a sack full of 2 loaves of bread and a bunch of horse hamburgers, and we says, we're leaving. We're going to hide. And after about an hour and a half, we saw the train leave. So my dad sent my sister to kind of check out what happened, right? So she goes to where all our baggage and our people were, and all there was a Coke bottle standing there. And everybody was gone. Everything was gone. Everything was gone. And we knew where they went. And that was one of the lowest time in my dad's life, that I remember. He was so down, because now we were totally alone. We had nothing. And so the first thing we did is we burnt all our papers, because we didn't want, to show where we were born or where we were in 1938. And so then we could say whatever we wanted to say, right? We're playing, and here comes this blonde, tall, good-looking young fella and starts talking Low German to us as kids, right? Because we were talking Low German, right? So we thought immediately this was a Russian spy, right? Because we were drilled, you don't talk to no. So we ran to the parents, and then he followed us, and then he started talking to my dad and this Jake Bergen, because nobody else would talk to him. And he says he's from Canada, and he says he's from MCC, which didn't really mean nothing to us, but he's here to find and help the Mennonites that came out from Russia. And at first we were kind of skeptical. And then Peter Dick says, well, why don't you come to Canada? We said, okay, we'll go to Canada. I remember the trip it was so exciting. So then we came across in December. It was very windy and we were seasick and the whole thing. For 5 or 6 days it took, And so we arrived in the morning, early in the morning, and the sun was going up, and we all went on deck. And basically, that country wants us, And my mom, she was crying. That it was real. It was even better than what they told us, And we were so happy.